Peace be upon you. Friends, starting today on FunnyFun Urdu Stories is the most terrifying series we've ever brought you. Just hear the title and your soul will tremble. She is not my wife. She has come from my mother's grave. If you're sitting and watching this with your wife right now, then hold her hand tight, because after today, you might even let go of it forever. My name is Aryan, 29 years old, a software engineer from Delhi. My girlfriend Mira, she was my entire world. We had been together for 4 years. Then one day we found out. Mira was pregnant. We went against our families and got a court marriage. On the 3rd day after the wedding, we shifted to our new 2 BHK flat in a brand new society in Greater Noida, where it was just the 2 of us and our unborn child. The first night, everything was perfect. Mira fell asleep with her head on my chest. I placed my hand on her belly and whispered, "Baby, now the 3 of us will always be together." Smiling, she kissed me and said, "Yes, Aryan, always together." Then came that night. The night that became the worst night of my life. It was the night of the 3rd day after our wedding. I was in deep sleep. Suddenly, I felt someone was watching me. I opened my eyes. Mira was not on the bed. I got up, went to the drawing room. It was completely dark. Only the kitchen light was on. I quietly walked closer, and what I saw, my heart stopped. Mira was standing in front of the fridge, holding a bottle of milk in her hand, but her head was hanging down low. And she was talking very softly to herself. I leaned in to listen. And the voice, it was my mother's voice. The same voice of my mother who died of cancer 15 years ago. "Beta, now you'll never be alone again. Mummy has come. Now we'll always be together." Mira slowly lifted her head and looked straight at me. Her eyes had turned completely white, and on her face was that exact same smile. The smile I had only ever seen on my mother's face when, moments before dying, she had said, "Beta, Mummy will never leave you." I screamed, "Mira!" I switched on the light. Myra was standing right there, but now her eyes were normal again, and she looked terrified. She asked, "Aryan, you're here." I was just drinking milk. I don't even remember when I got up. I pulled her into a hug. But her fragrance, it was the same one my mother used to wear. Chamelika Atar, jasmine perfume. That night, I put her to sleep. But I stayed awake the whole time. In the morning, Mira was completely normal. "Baby, good morning," she said with a laugh. Everything was playful. Everything was fine. But in the evening, when I came back from office, there was a strange fragrance in the house. That same Chameli Kahatar Mira was cooking in the kitchen. I hugged her from behind and asked, "Jan, where is this smell coming from?" She turned around, smiled, and said, "Beta, Mummy loved Chameli so much, didn't she? So now I've started wearing it too." My heart sank. Friends, this was only the story of the very first night. There are still 9 more nights to come, in which you'll see how a husband fights the spirit that has entered his wife, and whether in the end he'll be able to save his wife, or lose her forever. So that was the complete terror of part 1. Your heart is still racing, right? Comment right now. Mira became Ma or Aryan. Run right now. Tomorrow, in part 2, there's going to be an even bigger explosion. Title: Mira told me the secret of Mother's grave. When Mira takes me to an old grave and says, "This is my grave, Aryan," and now I'm not speaking from here. I'm speaking from inside you. Quickly subscribe to FunnyFun Urdu Stories. Hit the bell icon, because tomorrow night, Mira will come again. And maybe the scent of jasmine will reach your house too. Allah Hafiz. And tonight, hold your wife close while you sleep, because she might not just be your wife anymore. That series from FunnyFun Urdu stories where death now stands at every breath. Tonight is the second part, and tonight you're going inside a graveyard to witness a wife bringing her own husband to her very own grave. After that night, I started keeping my distance from Mira for a few days. Mira, I'd stay late at the office, come home, and go straight to sleep. But every single night, at exactly 3 a.m., Mira would disappear from the bed. I installed CCTV cameras, and when I watched the recordings, my soul trembled. At 3:07 a.m., Mira got up, opened the wardrobe, took out an old red the exact same one my mother used to wear at weddings. She draped it over her head and walked out of the house. I followed her. She was walking on foot through the darkness of the night, heading toward the old graveyard in Great Annoy. The graveyard gate was open. She went inside. I hid near the entrance and kept watching. She stopped in front of an old grave. Written on the stone was Sunita Malhotra, 1968 a 2010. My mother's grave. Mira, or whatever she was, sat down beside the grave, brushed the dust off with her hand, and started crying. Then the voice came. My mother's voice. Bait, I have come back. Now you will never be alone again. Now Mummy will always stay with you. I ran toward her and shouted, MEERA. Mira raised her head, but her eyes were pure white, and she spoke. Arian, this is my grave. And now I'm not speaking from here. I'm speaking from inside your wife's body. I screamed. You've really come back? She nodded, then told me the whole truth. In 2010, to pay for my cancer treatment, I sold one of my kidneys. But the doctor cheated me. He sold that kidney on the black market and told me the operation had failed. Primera ka mejom. Your father used to beat me every day. One day, he poisoned me. And when I died, he buried me alive so he could claim the insurance money. For 20 years, my soul has been wandering here. When Mira became pregnant, I saw my chance. A chance to stay with my son forever. So I entered your wife's body. I broke down crying. Ma, I couldn't save you. Please, forgive me. She, through Mira, pressed my head to her chest. Beta, forgiveness won't fix anything now. Now, I will stay with you forever. Even if this girl's body has to burn for it. Then suddenly, she became normal again. Mira burst into tears. Arian, I don't remember anything. What am I doing here? I brought her home, but on the way she said something that stole my sleep forever. Arian, I feel like there's no baby inside me. Something else is there, something that pulls me from the inside every night. We reached home. I immediately got an ultrasound done. The doctor looked at the report and said, "Congratulations! Your wife is not pregnant. There's a mass inside her womb, and it's growing bigger every day." My heart sank. That night, I put Mira to sleep and stayed awake myself. At 3 a.m., Mira got up, came to me, held my hand, and said, "Beta, you must be tired now. Go to sleep. Mummy is with you." Friends, that was the story of the second night. Still, 8 nights remain, in which you'll see how a husband fights the spirit growing inside his wife's womb, and whether in the end he'll be able to save his wife or lose her forever. Tomorrow, in part 3, comes the greatest terror yet. Title: There's no baby in Mira's womb. Mother's soul is growing inside when the doctor will show on the ultrasound the face of an old woman and say, before delivery, either the wife will survive or the soul. Only one of the two can live. Scream in the comments right now. Mira has Ma inside her, or Arian. Leave your wife. Turn the bell icon on, because tomorrow night, your own wife might call you Beta too. Allah. And tonight, sleep with your hand on your wife's belly, because who knows who might be growing inside. FunnyFun Urdu stories. That series where now every moment isn't just fear. It's a test of love and sacrifice. Tonight is part 3. And tonight you'll stand inside an ultrasound room, watching a husband see his own mother's face. Inside his wife's womb, the doctor's earlier report had already made the ground slip from under my feet. The mass is growing. There's no delivery. Nothing like that. This is something else. I booked an appointment with Delhi's best gynecologist, Dr. Angali Sarma. The very next morning, we reached the hospital. Mira was terrified. She gripped my hand tightly and whispered, "Arian, I feel like the auntie inside is going to eat me alive." The doctor started the ultrasound, applied the gel, moved the probe over the belly. For the first 10 seconds, the screen showed nothing. Then a shadow appeared. A small face formed, but it wasn't the face of a baby. The doctor's hand froze. She zoomed in. Clear as day on the screen was my mother's face, exactly how she looked on her last day with cancer. Sinjor on her forehead, eyes closed, mouth wide open as if she wanted to scream. The doctor screamed, "What? What is this?" I looked at the monitor, and tears rolled down my face. Suddenly, on the screen, Ma ECAS opened, and she looked straight out, straight at me, as if she could see me. Then a voice came, not from the speakers, directly into my ears. "Beta, now you can't stop me anymore. I will stay with you, even if I have to devour this girl from the inside." A loud thud came from Mira's belly, as if someone inside was punching outward. The doctor threw the probe away and said, "Ari, this is not a medical case anymore. This is paranormal. Inside this girl, there is no living human. A soul is growing." I brought Mira home. She was sobbing uncontrollably. "Arian, just kill me. I want to die. Something inside is eating me alive." I pulled her into my arms and said, "I won't let anything happen to you, even if I have to burn myself to keep you safe." That same night I called Tantric Baba Kalikaran to our house. He arrived, looked at Mira, and in 1 second he jumped back in horror. Saith is Arian. This is not your mother. This is your mother's murderer. The woman you burned alive 25 years ago. She has come back. She has already devoured your child inside your wife's womb. And now, she will devour your wife too. I screamed. "Then save my wife." The tantric replied, "There is only one way. The spirit has to be pulled out. But while extracting it, either the spirit will burn or your wife will burn. Only one of the two can survive." Mira heard everything. She grabbed my hand, tears streaming down her face, and begged, "Arian, let me go. I will die. But you have to live. For yourself, and for our baby." I held her even tighter and said, "Without you, I am not alive, and neither is our child. If we have to die, we'll die together." That night, the tantric began the ritual. But in the middle of the ritual, flames burst out of Mira's belly, and she started screaming in agony. Friends, that was the story of the 3rd night. Still, 7 nights remain, in which you'll see how a husband fights the murderous spirit growing inside his wife's womb, and whether, in the end, he will be able to save his wife or lose them both forever. Tomorrow, in part 4, comes the most dangerous ritual of all. Title: The spirit has started coming out of Mira's belly, when a hand will emerge from Mira's stomach. And that hand will be wrapped around my throat. Scream in the comments right now. Save Mira, or the spirit has won. Turn the bell icon on, because tomorrow night, your sleep is going to burn. Adya, Afif, and tonight. And tonight, sleep with your hand on your wife's belly, because we still don't know who is growing inside. FunnyFun Urdu Stories, that series where every moment is no longer just terror. It's now a test of a husband's love and ultimate sacrifice. Tonight is part 4, And tonight you will witness a spirit reach out from its wife's womb and wrap its hand around her husband's throat. Last night you heard that the tantric had begun the ritual, and flames had burst from Mira's belly. Tonight you will see that fire was only the beginning. In the ritual room, 7 oil lamps were burning, a huge yantra drawn on the floor with red sin. Mira sat bound in the center, hands and feet tied. The tantric was chanting mantra. I sat beside her, holding her hand and crying. Then, exactly 13 minutes later, Mira's belly began to swell, as if something inside was desperate to come out. The tantric shouted, "It's coming out! It's coming out!" A handprint suddenly bulged on Mira's stomach, then a blood-curdling scream, and her belly split open, not with blood, but a charred, burned old hand pushed its way out. The moment it emerged from Mira's womb, that hand shot forward, grabbed the tantric by the throat, and blood poured from the tantric's mouth. Primera iskria med. Baba. Ba. The tantric collapsed, but with his last breath, he gasped, "Stop it! Stop it! Or it will strangle you next." The hand released the tantric and turned straight toward me. Mira's eyes were pure white, and that burned hand clamped around my throat so hard I couldn't breathe. I was choking, thrashing. Then a voice came from Mira's mouth. Not my mother's voice, but the voice of an old woman who had been burned alive 25 years ago. "You burned me alive. Now it's your turn. This body will be mine." With the last of my strength, I grabbed Mira's own hand and cried, "Mira, if even a piece of you is still in there, save me. I love you so much." Suddenly, a different voice echoed, Mira's real soul, Arian. "I'm here inviting, but she's too strong." Then Mira's other hand rose. The charred hand was sucked back inside, and Mira collapsed unconscious. I scooped her up in my arms and rushed her to the hospital. The doctor performed emergency surgery, and from inside her womb they removed an old, charred locket. The same locket my mother was wearing around her neck the day she died. The doctor said, "This girl won't survive more than 7 days. Something inside her is eating her alive from within." I came home from the hospital and sat beside Mira the whole time. That night, Mira opened her eyes, and for the first time, her eyes were normal again. She burst into tears. "Arian, I didn't do anything. She's killing me from the inside." I held her tight and said, "Mira, now only 6 days are left. I will save you, even if I have to burn myself alive." Friends, that was the story of the 4th night. Still, 6 nights remain, in which you will see how a husband tries to pull the murderous spirit out of his wife, and in the end, who between them will survive. Tomorrow, in part 5, comes the greatest sacrifice of all. Title: I am setting my wife on fire while she is still alive when I pour petrol. Strike the match and set both Mira and myself ablaze, so the spirit burns forever. Scream in the comments right now, "Save Mira," or the spirit is going to win. Turn the bell icon on, because tomorrow night the fire will burn, and none of you will be able to hold back your tears. Allah Hafez. And tonight, hold your wife close while you sleep, because maybe by tomorrow morning she won't be your wife anymore. FunnyFun Urdu Stories. That series where now there is no longer just fear, but the final, ultimate test of a husband's true love and sacrifice. Tonight is part 5, and tonight you will watch a husband pour Petri in front of his pregnant wife, strike a match, and burn them both together, only so the evil spirit burns with them forever. 2 days had passed since we came home from the hospital. Mira was falling unconscious every hour. Charred burn marks kept rising on her belly, as if something inside was dragging its claws across her skin. The doctor had said she won't live more than 6 days. No operation is possible. Whatever is inside her burns everything it touches. That night I sat alone. Mira lay beside me. She grabbed my hand and sobbed, "Arian, just kill me." Primera Ha, wa, enti, tu, dai. She's eating me from the inside. There's only pain now. I placed her head on my chest and said, Mira, if you go, I won't live either. We'll leave together, but we'll take that spirit with us. She looked into my eyes and nodded. I made my decision. The next morning I soaked the entire flat in petrol. Every corner, every piece of furniture. I left only our bedroom untouched. I lifted Mira in my arms, carried her to the bedroom, and sat her on the bed. She asked, Arian, what are you doing? Crying? I answered, Jan, today we will burn together so that the spirit burns with us and is finished forever, Mira cried, then smiled through her tears. Thank you, Ariane. I love you so much. Now we'll be together forever. I held her as tightly as I could, placed the petrol can beside her, and poured the rest all over myself. Then I took the matchstick in my hand. Mira held my wrist and whispered, We'll burn together. I nodded. We kept looking into each other's eyes. I struck the match and threw it on the floor. The fire spread like lightning. Smoke, heat. Mira started screaming in pain. I held her as tightly as I could and said, Don't be scared, Jan. Just 10 seconds of pain, then forever together. Flames surrounded us. Burning, agony. But I never let her go. Then a deafening scream tore through the air. The spirit shrieked, knew, and everything went black. When I opened my eyes, I was in a hospital. 60% of my body was burned. The doctors kept saying, It's a miracle. You're alive. But Mira, the doctor lowered his head. I'm sorry, Arian, your wife didn't make it. Only you survived. I cried for 7 straight days, said nothing, just cried. Then one day a nurse came to me and handed me a small urn. These are your wife's ashes. And this letter, she wrote it for you. The letter read, Arian, if you're reading this, it means you're alive. And I'm not. I knew you would try to save me, so I made you unconscious. The petrol wasn't on you, only on me. You were asleep. I burned. But the spirit burned with me. Now live, and take care of our baby. The baby that was never in my womb, but always in my heart, and now lives forever in yours. I love you, Arian. Always. I broke down and pressed the urn to my chest. Friends, that was the story of the 5th night. The night a wife saved her husband and burned herself to ashes. But did the spirit really burn away? Tomorrow, in part 6, you'll find out. Title: A hand came out of Mira's ashes. When I open the urn, a charred hand will wrap around my throat. Come in right now. Mira gave her life, or the spirit is still alive. Turn the bell icon on, because tomorrow night the fire will rise again. Allah Hafiz. And tonight, cry a little remembering your wife, because true love stays alive, even when it burns. FunnyFun Urdu Stories, that series where now every breath is a question. Tonight is part 6, and tonight you will watch a husband open his wife's urn of ashes, only for a charred hand to rise out and wrap around his throat. 10 days had passed since I came home from the hospital. 60% of my body was wrapped in bandages. But the real pain wasn't in my skin. It was in my heart. Every night I slept, clutching Mira's urn to my chest, talking to her through tears. One night, I opened the urn, took a handful of ashes, and whispered, Jan, if you're anywhere at all, come back, just once. I want to beg your forgiveness. A sudden cold breeze blew through the room, and something inside the urn moved slightly. I looked closer. In the middle of the ashes, a tiny charred hand began to rise. Slowly, slowly. It grew bigger. Terror gripped me, but I didn't let go of the urn. Then came a loud, unnatural sound, and that hand shot out and clamped around my throat. I thrashed, choking, but a voice spoke. Mira's voice. Arian, don't be afraid. It's me. I've come back. I broke down crying. Mira, you're alive. From the ashes, smoke and fire swirled. A body began to form, and then Mira stood in front of me, exactly as she used to be, but there was a strange glow in her eyes. She hugged me tightly and said, Arian, I did burn, but the spirit sent me back, because its revenge wasn't complete. I stepped back in fear. At revenge, Mira smiled and began telling the whole truth. That spirit wasn't your mother. It was your mother's murderer. 25 years ago, your mother buried that woman alive because she was having an affair with your father. Your mother poisoned her and buried her while she was still breathing. That soul wandered for decades. When I became pregnant, she targeted me, ate me from the inside, and made me burn, so I would die, and you would be left all alone. But while I was burning, I trapped that spirit. I locked it inside myself and brought it with me, so that you would stay safe. I stood there stunned. So, you're not the spirit? Mira nodded. I am your Mira, but now that murderous soul is also inside me, and sometimes it controls me. Then she started crying. Arian, something keeps pulling me from the inside. I won't be able to live like this. Kill me, or she will kill you. I pulled her into my arms and said, No, Mira, I can't lose you again, no matter what happens. That night, there is one final ritual left, in which you and I will have to burn together. But this time, only the spirit will burn, not us. Friends, that was the story of the 6th night. Only 4 nights remain, in which you will see a husband and wife fight their last battle of love and destroy the spirit forever. In part 7 comes the final ritual. Title: Mira and I are going to burn together when we both step into the fire, and only one of us will come back out. Mira and Arian will burn together, or the spirit has won. Turn the bell icon on, because tomorrow night the fire will rise again. And this time, no one may survive. Allah Hafiz. And tonight, tight while you sleep, because tomorrow, she might not be your wife anymore. The series of FunnyFun Urdu stories where only love and death remain. Today, the 7th part, and today you will see walk together into the final fire of their lives, only because their love is greater than a killer's soul. Last night, Mira had told me that there are now 2 souls inside her. One is hers, and one is that murderer who was buried alive 25 years ago. She said, Arian, there is only both souls will, but either yours or mine. I held her hand and said, whichever body survives, the heart will always be together. That night, we both decided. And the final fire. Morning, the Tantric Baba Kalikaran came. He said, this ritual can only be performed on the night of a lunar eclipse. Tomorrow night, and in it, both must wear the same, must burn in the same fire, and only true love can burn a soul. At 11:59 at night, we emptied the entire flat. Just a large shroud spread on the floor, drew a yantra with red sin, and the 2 of us, wearing the shroud, sat facing each other. Mira held my hand and started crying, Arian, if I don't, please forgive you so much. I put sinjor in her hair, parting, and said, you are my wife, and always will be, whether the body burns or the soul. The tantric started his mantras, large lamp between us, and scythe. Now, you to embrace each other. And when I say, here is the English translation of the 8th part of your FunnyFun Urdu Stories series. The series where even death has now been defeated. But love is still fighting. Today, the 8th part, and today you will see a husband will see his wife once again, but 25 years older. And she will say, "Beta, now it's your turn to make me yours." 15 days had passed since I came home from the hospital. My body was healing, but my heart was still burning. Every night I would sit beside Mira-san, kiss the Mangalsutra, and say, "Jan, wherever you are, come back just once." One night at exactly 3:03 a.m., the door opened by itself. I got up, walked to the drawing room, and there stood a woman. Hair completely white, face exactly like me, but she looked 50 to 55 years old. She smiled at me and said, "Arian, do you remember I told you I will come back?" My heart stopped. She came closer and said, "I am Mira, but now in this form, because the spirit gave me this body, so that I could stay with you." I stepped back. How is this even possible? She told me the whole story. When we were burning, I had trapped the spirit, but the spirit offered me a deal. "If you let me go, I'll send you back. But in a new form?" I said yes, because I couldn't live separated from you. The spirit gave me the body of a woman who had died in the hospital 2 days earlier, and I came back in this body. Now, I am your Mira, but this body is 55 years old. I broke down crying, ran to her. She embraced me tightly and whispered, "Don't be afraid, Arian. Now it's your turn, Beta, to make me yours all over again. Now we will stay together forever, even if the body has changed. The heart hasn't." We both sat and cried the entire night, talked just like we used to in the old days. When I woke up in the morning, she was in the kitchen cooking, exactly like Mira used to. Only her face was old now. She handed me tea and said, "Beta, now you go to the office. I'll take care of the house." I held her hand and said, "You are my wife. No matter what form you're in, I will marry you again." She started crying and said, "But what will people say?" I replied, "My love is bigger than what people say." So we got court-married. For the second time, people were shocked that I married a 55-year-old woman, but I didn't care, because she was my Mira. 3 months passed. We were happy. Then one night, as she lay beside me, she whispered softly, "Arian, can I tell you something?" I nodded. "Yes." She said, "The spirit sent me back, but there was one condition. As long as I'm alive, every year, one human has to be sacrificed. Otherwise, it will take me back." My heart sank. She started crying. "For the first sacrifice, I had chosen your sister Simran, but I couldn't do it. So now, it's going to take me away." I screamed, "No, Mira, I won't let you go." She smiled and said, "You can't stop it, Arian. But there is one way. If you take me inside you, the same way I once took you inside me, then we can stay together forever." Friends, this was the story of the 8th night. Now only 2 nights remain, in which you will see whether Arian will take his wife inside himself or sacrifice himself. Tomorrow, in part 9, there will be the final war. Title, "I am taking my wife inside me," when Arian and Mira's bodies will become one, and only a single person will remain alive. Comment right now. Mira went inside Arian, or the spirit won again. Turn on the bell icon. Because tomorrow night, 2 bodies are going to become one soul. Allah Hafiz. And tonight, sleep hugging your loved one tightly, because tomorrow, maybe only one will remain. The series where now even the bodies are about to become one. Today, the 9th part. And today, you will witness a husband taking his wife inside himself, into his heart, into his soul, forever. Last night, Mira had told me that the spirit had set one condition, one sacrifice every year, or it would drag Mira back. I made my decision. I would become the sacrifice myself, but I would never leave Mira alone. That night, we both sat in the bedroom. Mira was in her 55-year-old body, but the eyes were still the same. Mira's eyes, she held my hand and said, "Arian, there is one final ritual through which two souls can enter a single body, but only if the love of both is absolutely true, and both are ready to die." I looked into her eyes and said, "I am ready, just stay with me." We called Tantric Baba. He arrived and said, "This ritual can only be performed on the new moon night, and in it, both of you have to bathe in each other's blood, then die in the exact same breath, so that the souls can merge." Tonight was the new moon. At 11:30 p.m., we both came dressed in fresh clothes. I wore a white kurta pajama. Mira wore a white sari. The Tantric drew a huge yantra on the floor with red Sinjoran blood. We sat in the center. He began chanting the mantras. Then he handed us a knife and said, "First, draw each other's blood, then make the other drink it from your mouth, so the bond of souls is formed." I picked up the knife, placed it on my wrist, and on Mira's wrist too. We cut ourselves at the exact same moment. Blood started flowing. We drank each other's blood, the way milk is fed to each other on the first wedding night. Then the Tantric lit a huge sacred fire and said, "Now, hold your breath together and die. Until you both die, the souls will not merge." We looked at each other one last time. I cupped her face in my hands and said, "Mira, I love you so much, now and forever." Crying, she replied, "And I love you even more, now and forever." We held our breath, embraced each other tightly, and slowly, darkness swallowed everything. When my eyes opened, I was lying on the bed, but something felt different. Very different. I looked in the mirror. My face, but in my eyes, there was Mira's sparkle. Then a voice came. My own voice, but with Mira's tone and softness. "Arian, we have now become one. Your body is now our home. Forever," I smiled and said, "Welcome home, young friends." This was the story of the 9th night, the night a husband settled his wife inside himself forever. But will this happiness last long? Tomorrow, in the grand finale, you will witness part 10. Now there is only one body, but two hearts, when the world will ask, is it Arian who is alive, or Mira? And one final secret will be revealed. That will break your heart forever. Comment right now. Arian and Mira have become one, or the spirit one. Again, turn on the bell icon. Because tomorrow, this story will end forever. And you will cry. Allah Hafiz. And tonight, just remember your loved one, because maybe they are already living inside you. Today is the last chapter of the most heart-wrenching and most beautiful story of FunnyFun Udu stories. Today you will cry. Today you will smile. And today you will ask, who actually survived? Arian or Mira? I, Arian, now live alone in this house, but I am not alone. Every moment, in every breath, Mira is with me. In the morning I make tea and say to myself, Jan, add a little extra milk. Then I burst out laughing, because the voice is mine, but the tone, the style, is completely Mira's. People call me mad because I talk to myself. I don't care. One day Simran came to visit. She looked at me and started crying. She asked, "Bye, are you okay?" I smiled and said, "Simran, I have never been this okay in my entire life, because now I am not alone. My Mira lives inside me, and every single day, the two of us talk to each other." Simran hugged me tightly and said, "Bye, Mira Babi has truly made you hers forever." Then one day, I went to the market, and a little girl came running up to me, about 5 to 6 years old. her eyes exactly like Mira's. She held my hand and said, "Uncle, you are very nice. My mummy used to say you loved her a lot." I was stunned. "Who is your mummy?" The little girl smiled brightly and said, "She lives inside you now, doesn't she? I am her daughter. From the next life?" My heart stopped. I lifted the little girl into my arms, and I broke down crying. Then I understood. The spirit never separated us. Instead, it made us one. And in the next life, we will meet again, with a brand new beginning. Now, every morning, I look in the mirror and say, "Good morning, Jan." And from inside me a voice replies, "Good morning, Arian. Shall we walk together today as well?" I smile and whisper, "Forever." On screen, final lines appear. Love is not the one that lives together. Love is the one that, even after burning to ashes, continues to live inside the other. Arian is no longer here. Mira is no longer here. Only their love remains, and it will keep beating forever. A small text fades in. The end. Soft music playing. A child's laughter echoes in the distance. Final voiceover emotional, trembling with tears. Friends, this was She Wasn't My Wife. She Came From My Mother's Grave. A story that had fear in it, and Lao in it, and in the end, Hon Li Lo Won. You all stayed with me every single night, waited eagerly for every part, filled the comment section with love. So FunnyFun Urdu Stories says a heartfelt thank you from the bottom of its heart. One tiny request, please like, plus share, plus comment, and hit subscribe right now, because the next series is going to be even more terrifying, even more emotional. Allah Hafez, tons of love, and we'll be back very soon with brand new stories. FunnyFun Urdu Stories. Be scared, cry, and keep loving. Because life is a story, and we will keep writing yours. Series ended, but it will live in our hearts forever. Friends, 10 nights, 10 parts, and all of you burned with me every night, cried with me every night, and hugged Arian and Mira every night. She is not my wife. She Came From My Mother's Grave has ended forever today. A husband has absorbed his wife into himself, and the two have become one. One body, two hearts, but love 1,000. You waited every night until 3 a.m., wrote Arian plus Mera forever in every comment, and took this story into your hearts. So, the entire team of FunnyFun Urdu Stories folds its hands and thanks you from the heart. Without viewers like you, this story would have remained just a story. Now, do these last 3 things. Press the like button so hard the screen shakes. Share it everywhere, so that this love reaches every home. In the comment, be sure to write, Arian and Mira have become one, or FunnyFun Urdu Stories Zindabad. And yes, if you haven't subscribed yet, then press that red button now, and set the bell icon to all, because a new series starts from next Friday, and it will be so terrifying that you'll keep the light on all night. That's all for now. Now it's time to say goodbye. But we promise we will always remain in your hearts, with a new story every Friday. New fear? New love? Allah Hafez. Lots and lots of love, and we have many new nights to spend together. FunnyFun Urdu Stories. Be scared, cry, and love. Because life is a story, and we will keep making your story. Big glowing text on screen, the end. New series next Friday, #FunnyFun Urdu Stories, #She Is Not My Wife. Just add this closing at the end of the last part. Views, emotions, subscribers, everything will skyrocket. The series has officially become legendary. Now, the wait for a new story begins.